Well, good morning, YouTube. All right, guys, yesterday we did not record, but we did make a little bit of progress yesterday. The guys here at the shop came over with their service truck, and with their big air-powered 3/4 inch impact and an oxygen acetylene torch, they were able to get those big nuts that hold that cross member on off without damaging them, which is great. The new part should be here today, but we have other issues with them here as well. So we still got to get the old cross member the rest of the way off. We've got an airbag that's destroyed. So yeah, and then we still got a driveline issue that we have to deal with, but first things first. So we're gonna try to beat this thing off, no pun intended, and then see if we can make some progress. Even though we're in the pit with these grates here, there's still not a lot of room under the truck, so Talon moved a couple grates out of the way so that we can stand a little taller without hitting our head on this stuff. All right, guys, looks like Talon and I got all the old junk out, and the new piece came in. Looks a little bit different, so we're taking some measurements. Right. So the new piece is here, and it's actually a lot beefier than the old one. Now, there might have been a little bit of confusion on what was the right part number, because I found diagrams online of suspension that looked just like this, but there were multiple models that on paper looked the same. So we did some cross-referencing and looked at some dimensional charts, but I wasn't able to get all of the dimensions. Now this one actually looks like it's heavier duty. I think it's got a slightly larger center tube and a slightly larger end tubes, which is good. Yeah, if you look at that, there's definitely a difference there. Not significant, but the inside is still 2.5. The center points are exactly the same. The shock mounts are exactly the same. So even if it's not exactly the right part number, it looks like it's stronger and it should still fit. I'm happy with that. We've still got a piece of bushing. If you look at this right here, on this side, the bushing stayed in, but on the back side, the bushing stayed on the pin that's on the back of Goliath. I try to air hammer the bushing off of the bottom, then this should all just slide right on and bolt back in place. All right, guys, I had to use an air hammer to get that inner collar off because it was on there. I burned it a little bit, but we're gonna clean the spindle up before we put the new piece on anyways. Now, I just gotta do this side as well. And guys, I gotta give Amsoil a little plug here, using the MP lubricant and penetrant oil up here to make it easier to come off. All right, guys, we got the piece up there and we did a test fit and it fit perfect. So now we're greasing up these shafts just to prevent any further rust. And we're gonna do the final installation of the new crossbar. Well, it's called a transverse beam, technically. Yeah, you gotta press it, but once you get it up there, it slides right on over. You gotta slide it back out some. It went right on for me when I did it the last time. There we go. Whoa. All right, new beam is in place. Now we just gotta bolt it back together, but we're gonna lubricate all these threads right here as well with some anti-seize before we go any further. All right, well, it's in. Took 2 days to get it out, 10 minutes to get it put back in. All right, guys, it's been a couple hours since I've recorded. and a lot has happened. So we got that cross member in. I think you guys saw that. We put the one airbag that was still semi-good back in there just so there was something that we can keep the tires up off of the chassis. And then we actually used some blocking on the other side because the one airbag's completely destroyed. It won't do any good. So I got this big rubber cribbing block and a couple 2x4s in there just so it doesn't set down on the tire. Makes it drivable. The airbags for the rear will not be in until Monday. They weren't in stock anywhere local. So when they get here Monday, we'll be able to put them in. And we weren't in a hurry because remember, we broke something the other day. Man, my face is dirty, isn't it? Anyway, we broke something in the front drive. We diagnosed it, not exactly, but we realized it was definitely the front drive. So it's the power divider system that has broke. If I put the truck in gear and I let the clutch out, the drive shaft spins to the front rear end, but nothing happens. The truck doesn't move. If I lock in the differentials, then the second drive shaft then spins to the rear and the truck is drivable. So if something in the front rear end broke, the rear end is obviously fine. So what we did is we pulled the axles out. What I was hoping is that maybe we sheared an axle and that we could reach in there and pull the broken piece out and just order a new axle and put in there, but we weren't that lucky. Whatever is broke, it broke inside the rear end. Last time I broke the power divider, we actually broke the case on it because something had failed. They told me that like non-rebuildable, you can't find them, so we had to put a junkyard unit in there. So this was a used unit when we put it in 5 years ago. Well, luckily we found a place up here, actually out of Connecticut, but they got locations everywhere, that has a complete remanned unit for this that they're gonna bring to me on Tuesday. So right now we're slamming the axles back in it so we can throw the wheels back on it just to get it out of the shop. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon now. At 5 o'clock, these guys go home for the weekend and they won't be back until Monday. We don't want the truck in the shop all weekend because, well, we live in it. So it doesn't work for us, it doesn't work for them. On Tuesday morning, we'll probably bring it back in here and start pulling that front drive unit out so that when the new one gets here, they can take the old one as a core and we can put the new one in. So yeah, we're still stuck here for the weekend, but at least we've got a game plan. We've got parts that are on the way. It's not cheap, but it's not as expensive as I thought it was gonna be. So that's good news. Let's get this done and then we can go get cleaned up and decide what we're gonna do for the weekend. It's Friday night, we ain't got no job, ain't got nothing to do. All right, looks like Talon got the axle in on the other side, so I'm gonna throw this one back in. Now, for right now, we're not even putting any new sealant on it because the truck isn't leaving the parking lot and they have to come right back out on Tuesday in order to get the center chunk out. So we're just literally just slamming it back together so we can move it 10 parking spots in the parking spot and let it sit. It might leak a little bit of oil. I don't really care at this point. There's no sense in resealing it to just have to break that seal again in a couple of days. All right, guys, so we got Goliath put back together, moved out of the shop, trying to do it in a hurry so the guys could get out of there at 5. And we came into the pilot, we took showers. Now we're ordering some more Taco Bell for dinner. I know, nothing fancy, but we love Taco Bell anyway, so we're not arguing eating it twice this week. Yesterday, we didn't really eat anything for dinner at all. I think we just snacked on some sweet potato chips. I have to definitely give a shout out to the guys here at the Southern Tire Mart. They have been awesome to work with. They're letting me use their shop for Talon and I to get in there and do the work. I have no idea whether they're charging me for the time or not. The guys have just been great. Watch this guy, he's doing some goofy stuff. But I just have to give them all props. Like, they've assisted us on a few occasions, like when we just needed a little help or needed a tool that we didn't have or something. So they've just been awesome with that. Other than that, they've just kind of left us alone, free run of the shop to do whatever we need to do. But it feels great to have had a shower and shave and all this other stuff. Not much else is going to happen today. Now, like I said, some parts, the airbags are going to come in on Monday. The center chunk for the axle isn't going to be here until Tuesday. So hopefully we'll be out of here by Tuesday night or Wednesday, depending on how hard that is to put in. It's been a while since I've done one. And being Goliath, it's going to be more challenging. Like when we did it in the Kenworth 2 years ago, you know, we can work from over top on that. We can't do that with Goliath. So there could be some headaches that come along with that. But we're here for the weekend, and I think the weather is going to look pretty nice for the weekend. So tomorrow we may unload the bikes and just go for a ride, go do something. I hear there's some races in town, like dirt track racing, which I haven't seen like small town dirt track racing in quite some time. I used to love it when I spent my summers up here in this area in New York. So maybe if you guys are interested in following along tomorrow, maybe we'll film a ride or something like that. There's just nothing we can do until Monday, so we're going to make the best and enjoy our weekend the best we can. We picked a good time to come in and shower and eat because it has been raining ever since we got Goliath out of the shop. You know, I gotta say, having the shop to work in today is a luxury that I'm not used to. You guys watching, when I'm at home, when I work on Goliath, I'm out in a parking lot, down on the ground underneath or whatever. It's not fun, it's not pleasant, but being in the shop today was great. The sun wasn't beating on us. It was still hot, but the sun wasn't beating on us. We still ran the generator, so Katie was inside in the air conditioning all day long. And without the sun beating on Goliath, it was really, really efficient. One heck of a storm came through this afternoon about, what, 2 o'clock or so, 2:30, something like that. And we were in the shop, so it didn't matter. It was great. Well, guys, it looks like the rain has stopped. Taking Jessa for a walk real quick, and I think we're going to go inside and get settled down. It's not real late, but it's got to be, I don't know, probably 8 o'clock or something. I haven't actually looked, but it's getting dark, but it's not dark yet. So looking at the weather, and it might be raining tomorrow. I don't know how much riding we're going to get done, but I think for now we're going to end this video, and hopefully we'll find something interesting to do over the weekend. And if we do, we'll bring you guys along. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time I see ya, keep those engines running, keep those drive shafts turning, whatever it takes to get this damn thing back on the road.